Hey everybody, got a little Essence two-part mini-series happening on my Express channel this week. Yesterday I talked about the How to Make Your Face Wow kit. I reviewed that. And today I'm reviewing the How to Make Nude Eyes kit. So these are called makeup boxes. These each cost $9.99 and I found them at my local Ulta store. And this one has the mirror again up top and comes with 6 eyeshadows. In addition to that, there are a couple of little instructional cards in the top. When you take those out, you get ideas for an everyday beauty look, it says, and an eyes night out look. This also comes with a little sponge tip applicator and then a blunt cut like mini brush here on the other end. The sponge tip applicator I think is totally usable, but I don't love little brushes that are cut in that way. I don't think they're very blending friendly. It's a very kind of cool toned neutral color selection, a lot of taupey type shades, and just to look at them in the palette, I mean, it looks like a pretty color selection, I think. I'm not expecting this to be a super intense dark smoky palette because the theme is how to get nude eyes, you know? And these shadows actually have a fabulous texture to them. I mean, they feel pretty creamy. When I put my brush into these shades also, they don't kick up a lot of powdery fallout, so they're pretty easy to manage, you know, when you get them on your eyes. So they feel great. I just wish they had maybe a little more color intensity to match that really nice quality texture that they have. Some of the shades swatch out better than others, but the shade called All About Nude, this kind of a shimmery taupey color, you know, I've expected more out of that shade. And I've used this palette in several different ways, but I think ultimately what it comes down to is like, this is going to need to be in my crease to create some contrast. One of these 3 shades here is going to need to be my lid, and then here's your highlighter type color. And even when you might rotate this shade or this shade or this shade, it still tends to give off a very similar look each time. Once you get them on your eyes, the shades don't really uniquely pop quite enough for me. You could get some kind of neat one shadow looks with some of these mid-tone shades, but again, it's just kind of lacking a little bit of intensity. Also, there's shimmer in all of these, and it really would have been great to see, you know, at least a couple matte colors in there mixed in. But before I go any further, I want to show you how I got the look that I did today. I first primed my lids, and then I used the shade called Eye Light Beige right around my inner corner for some brightness. Pretty happy with the way that color comes off. And then I patted Team Nude all over my lid with a flat brush, and then I also used my Sigma E25 to give myself a wash of color in the crease with that shade. And then I went to Nude Night Out. That's the deepest color in this palette. I used that kind of in the outer part of my crease. I also ended up patting a little bit of that shade just on the outer part of my lid. I used an Ion Apricot just for a little bit of a highlight under the brow. After I went through and did some winged liner on the upper lash line and lined my lower waterline, I took Nude Night Out again and just kind of started smudging that on the lower lash line, the outer part, and then went inward more with Team Nude. And it's not that I'm not pleased with this finished look, because I do think it looks pretty nice, but I've used this multiple times now, and even when I switch up, you know, a couple of the different shades or whatever, it just always keeps on coming off the same. And I think you'll have that when you've got all shimmery textures and not the best pigmentation. And let's face it, the market is flooded right now with nude types of eye palette. I think to really be a standout palette, you've got to be doing a lot of things right. And I think this just leaves quite a bit to be desired for me. I think maybe if you're a makeup beginner, a young person starting out with makeup, there are some positive points about this palette. The fact that you do have a little bit of guidance on those cards. And also, these shadows don't give you a bunch of fallout, and that can make the process a lot less frustrating for somebody who's just getting going with things. And I could see someone starting out with makeup, high school age, not wanting to get too deep and dark with their looks, and you know, you're not going to get too deep and dark with it unless you want to do everything I did today, which is adding lashes and liner and really doctoring the look up with a lot of other things. If you want comparable price range, but I think a palette that gives you so much more, I would look into the Maybelline the Nudes palette. Gives you some matte and shimmer, also kind of trains you on, you know, what pairings work well with one another in a very simplified way. I just think it's more bang for your buck than something like this. But I hope this review was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!